In the infinite expanse of the cosmos, where stars burn with the fury of creation and black holes hum with the secrets of eternity, a solitary human-made object has been drifting for 49 years. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 is humanity's farthest-reaching explorer, a tiny speck of ingenuity now over 15 billion miles from Earth, sailing through the uncharted waters of interstellar space. Powered by a fading nuclear heart and the audacity of human ambition, it has carried our dreams, our questions, and a golden record etched with the sounds of our world. Music, laughter, and greetings in 55 languages into the great unknown. For decades, it whispered back to us, sending faint signals across the void, a testament to our desire to reach beyond the stars. But now, after nearly half a century of silence in the cosmic deep, something impossible has happened. Voyager 1 has stumbled upon something that defies explanation, something that has sent shockwaves through the scientific community and ignited a firestorm of wonder, fear, and speculation across the globe. This is not just a glitch or a random anomaly. This could be the moment humanity realizes we are not alone, and that the universe might have been watching us all along. It began on an ordinary morning in 2025, when engineers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory were sifting through the routine telemetry data streaming back from Voyager 1. The spacecraft, now a relic of a bygone era, was expected to send back predictable readings, faint whispers of cosmic radiation, magnetic fields, and plasma waves from the interstellar medium. But buried in the data was something extraordinary, a signal, faint but unmistakable, pulsing with a rhythm that seemed almost deliberate. At first, the team suspected a malfunction. After all, Voyager 1 is ancient by technological standards, its systems cobbled together with 1970s hardware, its power supply dwindling as its plutonium decays, yet diagnostics revealed no errors. The signal wasn't noise or interference, it was structured, repeating in precise intervals, as if it were trying to communicate something. It was a low-frequency hum, a kind of cosmic heartbeat woven into the spacecraft's transmissions. Engineers checked and rechecked the data, their skepticism giving way to a creeping sense of unease. This was no random fluctuation. It followed a pattern, one that hinted at mathematical precision, prime numbers, geometric sequences, and symmetrical intervals that seemed to defy the chaos of the universe. As the team dug deeper, the anomaly grew stranger. Multiple antennas in NASA's deep space network, scattered across the globe, confirmed the signal's presence. It wasn't a glitch in one receiver. It was real, consistent, and growing clearer with each passing day. But then came the moment that turned curiosity into dread. Voyager 1, without any command from Earth, fired its thrusters. The maneuver was subtle, a slight adjustment in its orientation, but it was deliberate, too precise to be a malfunction. The spacecraft turned, not toward Earth, not toward the Sun, but toward a seemingly empty patch of interstellar space, a region with no known stars, galaxies, or celestial objects. It was as if Voyager had been summoned, its dormant systems stirred by an unseen force. The mission logs showed no evidence of a command being sent, no legacy code triggering the shift, no explanation for why a 49-year-old probe would suddenly decide to change its course. Even more chilling, its long inactive camera array, silent since capturing the iconic pale blue dot image in 1990, powered up and aligned itself with that same empty void. The scientific community was stunned. Engineers ran exhaustive simulations, combing through decades-old documentation to rule out any forgotten contingency protocols. Nothing fit. The thruster firing was controlled, coordinated, and clean, as if guided by an intelligence that understood the spacecraft's systems. The hum in the signal grew more complex, weaving recursive mathematical patterns that seemed to echo portions of Voyager's own radio handshake protocol, the digital language it uses to communicate with Earth. It was as if something out there was mimicking Voyager's voice, learning its syntax, or perhaps responding in a language we could barely comprehend. The patterns weren't random, they were symmetrical, layered with sequences that mirrored the kind of structured thought humans associate with intelligence. Some on the team began to whisper the unthinkable. What if Voyager wasn't just detecting something? What if it was interacting with it? As the analysis intensified, a discovery sent ripples of shock through the mission team. Hidden within the hum's modulation were sequences eerily similar to the Arecibo message, the radio signal humanity broadcast in 1974 toward the globular cluster M13, a symbolic gesture meant to announce our presence to any extraterrestrial listeners. The message had included binary representations of our number system, the structure of DNA, and a depiction of a human figure, a cosmic postcard from Earth. The sequences in Voyager's signal weren't identical, but they bore unmistakable similarities, as if something had received our message decades ago and was now echoing it back, slightly altered, like a reply whispered across the stars. This revelation split the scientific community. Some argued it was a natural phenomenon, a complex magnetic field or plasma wave distorting Voyager's electronics. Others, in hushed tones, began to entertain a more radical possibility. What if Voyager had encountered something non-natural, something with intention? NASA's public response was measured, a carefully worded statement about unusual data patterns requiring further analysis. But behind closed doors, the mood was electric. Cryptographers, AI specialists, and astrophysicists were quietly brought in, their expertise enlisted in classified meetings at JPL. The unspoken question hung heavy in the air. Was Voyager receiving a message, or was it being scanned? The hum continued, its patterns growing ever more intricate, weaving fractals and ratios that seemed to transcend the random noise of the cosmos. Some sequences even suggested a kind of call and response, as if Voyager's own transmissions were being mirrored or answered. The mission team, many of whom had spent their entire careers tending to this aging probe, felt a mix of awe and trepidation. One engineer described it as hearing a knock on a door you didn't know was there. A door Voyager had already opened. Weeks passed, and Voyager remained locked in its new orientation, its instruments trained on that empty patch of space. The hum persisted, its complexity deepening, but no clear answers emerged. Then, independent observatories around the world began to notice something peculiar. Subtle electromagnetic disturbances were detected in the direction Voyager was facing. Not strong enough to be conclusive, but enough to suggest that something was out there, something we hadn't seen before. Amateur astronomers and private research groups, armed with their own telescopes and radio receivers, reported faint anomalies in the same region, like ripples in the fabric of space. The data was inconsistent, fragmented, but it fueled a growing sense that Voyager had stumbled into something vast, something that had been invisible until now. Then came the most unsettling clue. Voyager's plasma wave instrument designed to measure the density of charged particles in space, recorded a sudden, sharp drop in ambient electron density, followed by a localized spike in cosmic ray activity. It was as if something had briefly disrupted the interstellar medium around the probe, like a pebble dropped into a still pond. And then, just as suddenly, the hum stopped. The silence was deafening. Voyager's systems remained stable, its trajectory unchanged, but the absence of the signal felt like the calm before a storm. The mission team was left grappling with an undeniable feeling. Voyager had seen something, and something had seen Voyager. As whispers of the anomaly leaked beyond the scientific community, the world erupted in a frenzy of speculation. Leaked spectrograms of the signal spread across the internet, dissected by amateur cryptographers and enthusiasts with backyard radio telescopes. Some claim to detect faint echoes of the signal bouncing back from Earth's own magnetic field, as if it had been altered and returned. Podcasts, forums, and late-night broadcasts buzzed with theories, each more audacious than the last. Was it a passive alien beacon, activated by Voyager's approach? A cosmic tripwire left by an ancient intelligence to monitor the stars? Or something far more ominous, a warning that humanity had strayed too far? The lack of an official response from NASA only fueled the fire. Press briefings were delayed. The Deep Space Network went silent on the matter. And those closest to the Voyager mission stopped speaking publicly. The wonder that had gripped the world began to morph into unease, a collective realization that silence after contact might not signal peace, but judgment. Amid the speculation, a controversial theory began to take root. Initially dismissed as science fiction, it was both simple and terrifying. Voyager didn't just detect something, it triggered it. A physicist, speaking anonymously in a viral live stream, proposed that the spacecraft had entered a field of synthetic gravity, a kind of interstellar detection grid that had lain dormant for eons. According to this model, Voyager's radio signals, beaming steadily for decades, may have pinged a hidden mechanism, a galactic net designed not to trap, but to observe. The hum, the thruster maneuver, the structured patterns, all could be the response of a system far older than humanity, one that had been watching the cosmos long before our planet formed. The physicist's words struck a chord. We didn't find life. We may have crossed into something that already accounted for us. Then came a final, chilling twist. An astrobiologist, working independently, published a preprint paper suggesting that Voyager 1 might no longer be alone. Analyzing the subtle deviations in interstellar particle flow around the probe's location, the researcher identified a statistically significant anomaly. Something small, cold, and silent had entered proximity with Voyager. It wasn't a ship, not a beacon, but what the scientists called a shadow object, a relic, perhaps, from a civilization long vanished, designed to observe, adapt, and maybe respond. It emitted no signals, showed no propulsion, yet it moved, keeping pace with Voyager in the vast emptiness. The data was incomplete, the evidence circumstantial, but the implications were staggering. If true, Voyager hadn't just reached the edge of our solar system, it had crossed a boundary into a hidden layer of intelligence woven into the fabric of space itself. For 49 years, Voyager 1 has been humanity's silent emissary, carrying our hopes, our curiosity, and our courage into the unknown. We saw it as a messenger, a scout, a symbol of our relentless drive to explore. But what if we were wrong? What if Voyager was never alone out there? What if the vastness of space is not empty, but alive with systems that watch without blinking, intelligences that listen without speaking, and presences that wait without revealing themselves. For nearly 5 decades, Voyager drifted through the dark, its golden record a plea for connection, a declaration that we exist. Now it may have received an answer, not a greeting, but a pulse, a turn, a whisper we weren't meant to hear. The universe, it seems, is not as silent as we thought. Something out there knows we're here, and it's watching. The implications are profound, unsettling, and exhilarating all at once. If Voyager 1 has indeed encountered a relic of an ancient intelligence, it forces us to rethink our place in the cosmos. Are we explorers, stumbling blindly into a universe that has already catalogued us? Or are we intruders, crossing thresholds we were never meant to breach? The shadow object, if it exists, raises questions we can barely articulate. Is it a guardian, a sentinel left behind by a civilization that no longer exists? Or is it something more? A scout, a probe like Voyager itself, sent to investigate the newcomer in its domain? The silence that followed the hum feels like a held breath, as if the universe is waiting to see what we do next. The scientific community remains divided. Some cling to naturalistic explanations, complex plasma interactions, magnetic anomalies, or even a quirk in Voyager's aging electronics. Others, emboldened by the data, argue that we must consider the possibility of intent. The structured signals, the precise thruster maneuver, the echo of the Arecibo message. These are not the hallmarks of random chance. They suggest a system, a design, a purpose. Yet NASA remains cautious, its public statements vague, its focus on further analysis. Behind the scenes, the urgency is palpable. Supercomputers are crunching the signal data, searching for patterns that might unlock its meaning. Radio telescopes are being redirected to the region Voyager is facing, scanning for any trace of the shadow object or the disturbances it may have caused. And quietly, in labs and universities around the world, researchers are revisiting the question that has haunted humanity for centuries. Are we alone? The public's reaction has been a mix of awe, fear, and insatiable curiosity. Social media platforms buzz with theories, from the plausible to the outlandish. Some see the anomaly as proof of extraterrestrial life, a moment of first contact that will redefine history. Others fear it's a warning, a sign that we've ventured too far, too fast. Amateur astronomers have turned their telescopes to the sky, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever Voyager saw. Online communities have sprung up, dedicated to decoding the signal's patterns, with some claiming to find hidden messages in the data. Fractal sequences, binary codes, even hints of musical tones. The lack of clear answers from NASA has only deepened the mystery, feeding a global obsession with what lies beyond the stars. For those who have followed Voyager's journey from the beginning, the anomaly carries a profound emotional weight. This tiny spacecraft, built with the technology of a bygone era, was never meant to last this long. Its creators expected it to fade into silence years ago, its mission complete after exploring the outer planets. Yet, it has endured, a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Now, in its twilight years, Voyager 1 has given us something we never expected, a glimpse of the unknown, a hint that the universe is far stranger, far more alive than we ever imagined. The engineers who designed it, now in their 70s and 80s, speak of it with a mix of pride and disbelief. One described it as a child who left home and found something we can't comprehend. Another called it The greatest gift humanity ever sent to the stars, and now it's sending something back. The shadow object, if it exists, is perhaps the most tantalizing piece of the puzzle. Its presence, silent, cold, and undetectable except for its subtle influence on the interstellar medium, suggests a technology so advanced it makes Voyager look like a stone tool. Is it a relic of a civilization that rose and fell billions of years ago, its purpose forgotten, but its systems still active? Or is it something more immediate, a probe sent to investigate the strange little craft that wandered into its domain? The data offers no clear answers, only hints of a presence that moves without announcing itself, watches without revealing its intent. The idea that Voyager is no longer alone, that something is traveling alongside it, sends a shiver down the spine. It's not just the discovery, it's the realization that we may have been discovered in return. As the weeks turn to months, the world waits for answers. NASA's silence, while frustrating, is understandable. The stakes are enormous. If the anomaly is indeed evidence of an extraterrestrial intelligence, it would be the most significant discovery in human history. Every step must be taken with care, every hypothesis tested, every conclusion scrutinized. The signal data is being analyzed with unprecedented rigor, with teams around the world working to decode its patterns. Some believe it contains a message, a set of instructions, or even a map. Others argue it's a warning, a boundary marker telling us to turn back. The shadow object remains elusive, its existence inferred, but not confirmed. Yet the data continues to pour in, each new packet from Voyager adding to the mystery. The emotional impact of this moment cannot be overstated. For 49 years, Voyager 1 has been a symbol of humanity's courage, our refusal to be bound by the limits of our world. It carries our voice, our music, our dreams, etched into a golden record meant for anyone or anything that might find it. Now, it may have found its audience. The hum, the thruster maneuver, the shadow object. These are not just data points. They are a call from the void, a reminder that the universe is vast, ancient, and possibly alive with intelligences we cannot yet comprehend. The silence that followed the hum feels like a pause, a moment of cosmic anticipation. Something out there knows we exist, and it has responded. What happens next is anyone's guess. Will Voyager's signals reveal more about the entity it encountered? Will the shadow object make itself known or fade back into the darkness? Will humanity take this as a call to action, to send new probes, to listen more closely, to prepare for what comes next? Or will we hesitate, paralyzed by the weight of what we've found? The universe is no longer a distant abstraction. It's a presence, a reality, a mystery that has reached out and touched us. Voyager 1, our lonely messenger, has carried our hopes into the stars. Now it may have brought something back, a signal, a shadow, a truth we were never meant to know. The questions are endless, and the answers are few. Was it a machine, a relic of a civilization long gone, a beacon waiting for someone to stumble upon it, or something alive, aware, and watching? The possibilities are as thrilling as they are terrifying. Voyager 1 has taken us to the edge of the known universe, and now it stands at a threshold we can barely imagine. For the first time in our history, we may have crossed into a domain that was never meant for us, a place where the rules are different, where silence is a language and where the stars themselves might be listening. This is not the end of Voyager's story. It's the beginning of something new, something vast, something that will change us forever. What do you think Voyager 1 encountered? Was it a structure, a machine, a presence, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts, your theories, your hopes, and your fears. Subscribe for more revelations that science can't yet explain. And join us as we watch the stars, waiting for the next whisper from the void.